Scott Young is a remarkable individual. He has mastered several languages, completed MIT's computer science curriculum independently in just 1 year, and achieved many other impressive feats. Today, we will dive into his approach to learning new subjects and skills faster than most people, and how you can apply it to excel in your studies. Step 1. Pre-learning. Imagine you're planning to walk across the United States. You'd need a detailed plan, choosing your route, ensuring you have enough supplies, and preparing for unexpected challenges. Mastering a subject is like embarking on this long journey. You must chart your path before you start. Young's first step is preparation, or pre-learning. This involves researching the topic and creating a roadmap, deciding the sequence in which you will study and how you'll approach it. For example, if you're learning a new language, you should ask yourself what the essential components are and the best way to learn them. Usually, the primary goal is to speak the language and practice conversing with native speakers. In contrast, for fields like mathematics or engineering, it's often about understanding how to solve problems and working on those skills. You'll need to know which topics are foundational for others. Without grasping high school algebra, learning calculus would be pointless. Similarly, without basic Welsh, composing poetry in the language would be a stretch. But there's a potential pitfall here. While pre-learning can make your studies more efficient, it can also lead to procrastination. Planning your learning path and dreaming about becoming an expert is much easier than actually starting the work. To avoid this trap, set a strict deadline for completing your pre-learning phase. Young suggests devoting no more than 10% of your total study time to this initial research. This way, you'll be well prepared without postponing the real work. If you'd like more study tips, subscribe to my email list. The link is in the description. Step 2. Learning. As I've mentioned before, how you approach learning can be the difference between becoming a high-achieving student in a short time and wasting years without making much progress. Young's system is based on 3 core principles: focus, direction, and drilling. These serve as the foundation for the entire learning process. Focus is something I can't emphasize enough. The difference between focused and unfocused learning is like the difference between clear vision and blurry eyesight. Without focus, everything takes longer, is less effective, and is more frustrating. In short, focus boils down to 3 things: eliminating external distractions like your phone or TV, getting rid of internal distractions like stress or perfectionism, and improving focus as a skill through meditation and consistent reflection. All these elements work together to sharpen your focus, which is crucial, especially if you're balancing this project with a job or other studies. You need to maximize your limited time. The next key element is directedness, which addresses a frustrating truth about how our brains work. Humans are generally poor at applying knowledge from one situation to another. For instance, even top-performing statistics students often struggle with intuitive probability calculations. Likewise, you could read all the Shakespeare in the world, but if you've never acted, your debut as Hamlet could be a disaster. Whatever you're learning, there's usually a specific situation you're preparing for, whether it's acing an exam, having a conversation with a native speaker, or writing a research paper. It's important to spend most of your study time practicing in a way that's as close as possible to the real situation you're preparing for. For example, instead of just using flashcards to study history, write essays from memory to practice both your historical knowledge and your ability to apply it in an exam. The more your practice mirrors the real context, the more effective it will be. Otherwise, you'll waste time and won't reach your goals as efficiently. Finally, there's drilling. This is where you identify weak spots in your practice. Maybe your vocabulary is holding you back during conversations, or your understanding of basic Python concepts is impacting your coding. Once you pinpoint a weakness, you need to focus on it with targeted practice. Learning is about integrating many different components towards a single goal. If one element is weak, it can bottleneck your progress. Isolated practice, like spending extra time memorizing vocabulary or revisiting coding basics, is essential to strengthen those weak areas before returning to more comprehensive practice. By alternating between direct practice, identifying weaknesses, and drilling, you'll gradually master your chosen skill. If you consistently apply this method to every part of your studies, your expertise will only continue to grow. Step 3. The next level. I've had the chance to meet several people I'd considered geniuses. Like a mathematician who could tell just by looking at a problem whether it was solvable, and a musician who could identify a composer from a single glance at sheet music. These individuals weren't just brilliant because of their learning, but because they had honed their abilities to the point where they could make insightful conclusions without conscious effort. Some dismiss intuition as biased or unreliable, and it can be, but it's also the culmination of knowledge and experience condensed into a gut feeling. This is the level you can reach by following Young's system, where your expertise allows you to innovate and expand your field effortlessly. However, getting there requires dedication and hard work. But by following Scott Young's system, you'll give yourself the best chance of achieving this level of mastery. For more insights on how to improve your thinking and life, subscribe to my email list and channel.